all of you. And I'll also be sending this out to the whole network, so you can send this to any of the other employees who you think that this might be helpful for. So thanks again for joining our second webinar. Our very first webinar on job cost within 100 was a great turnout last week. We received a lot of great feedback. So today we're going to be focusing on construction payroll in Sage 100 Contractor. If I could have you guys mute your mics on your handset, on your phone, and I'll invite you guys to unmute yourselves at the end when we open it up for questions. So today, again, we have a couple of longtime users, some new clients in the middle of their Sage 100 Contractor implementation, and some folks who are just receiving their first introduction to tags and our software division during these next 30 minutes. So welcome to everyone. We also have a special guest, a fantastic resource for utilizing a payroll service in conjunction with Sage, someone who we've worked with before in the past to really complement each other and offer our customers the full package. So if you're interested in learning more about how we work with outsourced payroll companies and HR services, please stick around at the end for that information. You can ask questions as well. So let me move to the next slide. So welcome again to all. I'm Leilani Evans, Construction Software Sales Associate at TAG. We are a certified Sage reseller, and we offer the entire Sage construction software umbrella exclusively. And every month we will be covering a revolving series of topics for clients and serving as a resource for other professionals within construction and accounting. So we welcome you to join us every Wednesday, 10 a.m. And if you have any feedback or suggestions about the topics or information that you want to hear about, we welcome that as well. So we'll get started with our topic for today, construction payroll. We're going to highlight and discuss the main reporting features of the payroll module. We'll talk about the capabilities of certified payroll reporting, uploading forms using Aatrix, some union reporting, the workers' comp report, how Sage handles payroll calculations and handles expenses. We'll cover some of the federal and state tax reports, and again highlighting the integration that we have with our third-party vendor, Aatrix. We'll talk a little bit about the timekeeping out in the field through daily field reports, and also cover the digital timekeeping through other options like Sage Field Operations. Lastly, we're going to close up the webinar and invite a resource for you. Jessica Moody has worked with our clients in the past, and so we thought it would be a good idea to bring her in and just have her introduce what she does and how she adds value to our clients. So we'll have her jump in at the end there. Okay, so certified payroll. With Sage 100 Contractor, you have multiple certified payroll reports. Your standard certified payroll report is most likely what you'll be using, and there are a couple other specific state reports that are available. You have some options when filtering these reports, so you can include the Social Security number or you can mask it. You have your Department of Labor report, and we also have a custom report available. LCP Tracker is one that gives our customers a ton of issues. It's a huge headache, so we have created a custom report that is available for purchase. It's a one-time fee of $750, and it is available. So the certified payroll report within Sage 100 Contractor, it's not modifiable. So if you need something custom built other than LCP Tracker, feel free to reach out, get in touch. We can provide you with just some insight on what it would take to get what you're looking for. So feel free to use my email or give me a call. But we have that available, and again, the integration with Aatrix really allows for you to save some time either by printing and mailing your forms, or by e-filing electronically. So we've got, the A131 California report and the federal DOL report, which is an automatic integration. So directly from the software, you can automatically pre-fill all this information. So if you don't want to take advantage of the Aatrix service, you can still proceed with running the report, and you can print it out without electronically filing. You might see a watermark, but then from there you can manually complete this using that copy that the system generates for you. So Sage 100 Contractor also is completely capable of handling union payroll. So the way that Sage handles union payroll is through classifications that are set up in 534 pay groups. In that window, you'll set that up, and then you'll set up your unions first in the system, and then your pay groups and your classifications. And then what you'll do is set those rates, and you can track multiple unions in there. When you set up your employee, that's when you'll note the union there. And you have a couple of different options for your union report. But one question that we've had before is if you're paying your employees with direct deposit, what value does it give it in the check number area of the report? So the system will automatically assign a record number for that direct deposit, and so that's the value that will be run in the report. Every direct deposit has that record number, so you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be automatic there. So you'll also want to note that if you use more than one union, the union report will report all the hours of employee towards whatever union is set to that employee. So you'll want to run this report by union. So the workers' comp is pretty straightforward here in Sage 100 Contractor. You set it up in payroll management, workers' compensation, and then report. That report can be run to show just the totals only, or you can separate it by job right here. You can also filter the report using the job numbers or the state or the check date. This report in the system, it's not modifiable, but it can automatically be scheduled. So payroll calculations in Sage 100 Contractor. This setup can be complex, so if you need help with this, just let us know and we can work with you on this. You would be setting up all of your rules for computing deductions, benefits, and your employer costs here. You can set this up manually, or Sage 100 Contractor has a standard set of calculations that it can provide you with. So once the calculations have been set up, you can add them to the employee, and each employee maintains their own set of calculation rates within their employee setup. So you can maintain it in the employee screen there. Sage 100 Contractor is not set up to track expenses. So if this is something that you need to pay employees, something like parking or per diem, the payroll calculations setup is where you would do that. You'd set up a calculation not subject to tax. So it's a little bit of a workaround, and it too can be complex. So if you need help with this, let us know. We'll get one of our tax consultants to help you set this up. So again, we'll go back to our integration with Aatrix. You can complete more than 330 U.S., state, and federal payroll tax forms. It's automatic, including employment, withholding, and new hire reports. It all comes directly from within the Sage 100 Contractor system, so you don't have to open up another program. It opens up that service automatically for you. And again, if you choose not to use the Aatrix service, you can. It would be a little bit more of a manual process, but the process is easy. You launch Sage 100 Contractor, and Aatrix will generate those government forms along with all of the information pre-filled for you. You have the opportunity to review it, so you can review make adjustments on that screen. You can change, add information that's not entered in, and then from there you can print it on plain paper, and then you can process it manually, or Aatrix has an e-file center. Aatrix is accredited, so a lot of clients do see the benefits and the time saver of using their service, but again, with this, you're not forced to use them. You would just print this out manually and then file by mail from there. So payroll, getting your payroll information in. There are a few different ways to get your labor hours into the system, and the whole idea is that we get these timesheets and hours in as soon as possible so that you have reports that reflect accurately and timely. So if you're using document control within project management, you can import the payroll hours from the daily field reports being completed on a daily basis. That eliminates the double entry and reduces your chance for human error. So on top of that, if you're using Sage Field Operations, which talks to Sage 100 Contractor, you can have those completed out on the job site and immediately within 1 minute have all that information available in the back office. So whether provided that they have Wi-Fi or cell service, then all of that information comes in pretty immediately. Then you have that to create your time cards. So the other way that you can take in all of these hours, you can enter them here in the payroll records. So if you're not using daily field reports or the project management, this is where you would enter in all that information from a traditional paper timesheet, provided that you can still read it after being crumpled up and shuffled around. So it's there. You can do this through payroll records, or there is a daily payroll entry screen where you can enter in all of your hours for all of your employees on a daily basis. So other timekeeping solutions. So now if you're using Sage Field Operations or another integrated mobile timekeeping solution like HH2, About Time, or Exact Time, and if you want information about any of these solutions, just let me know. I'm happy to help you look into it. But all of that information goes into that daily payroll entry screen. It automatically gets populated. So when you're in the system, it all shows up as soon as it gets entered in. And then it's in the system. You still have the approval route that it goes through, so don't feel like it's final, but at least you have those hours to be revised, reviewed, and edited. So with Sage Field Operations, people in the field, they can simply put their hours down to a job or a specific cost code, or you have the capability to allow them to punch in and punch out. This platform, it's equipped with GPS tracking, so not only checking to see where your labor force is at any given time on a map, you'd be able to see that they're entering in their hours correctly. So out on the job site, people are moving, things happen quickly, so they might choose a different job, but according to their GPS location, you have the right information about exactly where they're at. So you can see, oh, okay, they made an error. You can make that timely revision quickly, knowing exactly where they're supposed to be. So that's there for you. You also have the capability to capture notes and a digital signature every week, so they can review, and what they can do is also have comments or approval that they, had all of their breaks during that week and no injuries were had. So you have that labor compliance and all those digital records on file for every employee. So it really is a great way to make sure all of your bases are covered. So from there, Sage Field Operations have that approval route that timesheet then goes through after the employee submits that. So Sage Field Operations specifically has 3 supervisory levels. So from the employee, it can go to one supervisor, another supervisor, and then up to management before it actually hits a payroll administrator to actually okay it and review it, and then from there process the payroll. So it's a great tool. If you're interested in demoing this, I can walk through this with you. So that's there. I want to then introduce you to someone who's worked with our clients in the past. Although Sage offers you a very complete payroll system to take and process your payroll in-house, I know a lot of customers, they prefer to have that liability taken care of by an expert, by someone who does this and specializes in it and does it well. So TAB will support you. What we'll do is we'll work directly with your ADP service provider. So whoever is onboarding you, we work to bridge that gap and make sure that data flows through correctly and efficiently, so that that's just one less thing that you have to take care of. So I will, I'll go ahead and hand it off to Jessica and let you take the reins.
Perfect. Thank you, Leilani, and thank you for inviting me on this call. So as Leilani mentioned, I am a district manager for ADP, but as you can tell by my credentials, I'm not your typical salesperson. So like you, I was an HR person submitting payroll and having to do a majority of the tasks that you're doing today. So I lead the construction vertical here on the West Coast, and it is my job to talk to folks like you in the construction industry about, your Sage products as well as your ADP payroll and time and attendance. So many of you have Sage Field Operations or might have that in the near future. Perhaps you have Exact Time. And if we move to the next slide, I'll show you how you can keep your existing time and attendance system. However, we can simply import it into our ADP payroll module. So we are more than happy to expand our time and attendance module and offer that to you. We have several different ways to collect time. You can collect time from our free mobile app out in the field. You can use it on any smartphone, a phone, or iPad. You could also do a web-based portal on a computer. We even have an 800 number to be used from the phone, as well as our traditional time clock with biometric features. So there are several ways that you could collect time and attendance with ADP, but we understand that in your construction industry, there are construction-based time and attendance platforms such as Exact Time and Sage Field Operations. So if you love your time and attendance system, we will certainly work with you and Leilani and get those hours imported into our time and attendance module. Down in the right-hand corner, I have a screenshot of what our payroll batch looks like. So you're importing the time, you're not having to manually enter it, and it comes over looking like this. So you're still able to make a few edits and adjustments, looks just like Excel, but the point is to reduce that manual entry, reduce that human error via the import. Going to the next slide, I just wanted to show you one more screenshot of our payroll module. So it's very simple. It's in a dashboard format. It shows you things that you need to know right from the start, such as new hires, terminations, and change reports. Change reports is one of my favorite. It's anything that you've touched in that payroll. So a new direct deposit, a new garnishment, a pay rate change, anything like that is ready for you at your fingertips. And because you've imported those hours, we're able to give you a quick glance at your earnings and so forth. We offer the preview payroll. It only takes 20 seconds and you get a handful of reports. So you're able to look at your payroll register line by line, employee by employee, department by department. You can even look at your labor distribution report. So all of this is available to you prior to submitting your payroll. If you have any errors, you just reject and do it again. So included in our payroll module is, of course, our tax filing service. This is anything from your quarterly all the way down to your W-2s. We've got the reports library, including a custom report writer, as well as wage garnishment processing. So we will prioritize, calculate, and pay all those garnishments. We do your California new hire reporting. We could introduce the general ledger solution, and this also includes the free mobile app. which your employees could view their paycheck stubs, their W-2s, their PTO balances. So there's a lot of employee and manager self-service that comes along with it as well. So I just wanted to show you a few screenshots, but please take down my phone number, and if you have any additional questions, I could do a more robust demonstration for you. But these are the main features and typically how we work with Sage. So we can definitely import that time and get a general ledger back into your Sage 100 accounting system as well.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I want to remind you that we'll be here every Wednesday morning covering different topics. Next week is our one Sage 300 focused topic of the month. So if you're interested in learning about that, please attend 10 a.m. I'll invite you guys to go ahead and unmute your mics, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, either for me or for Jessica. If you'd like to type in your question, go ahead and do that in the chat box. Also, feel free to email us later on if you need anything. This is being recorded, so I will make this available via email as a download link that you can share with the rest of your team as well. So if there are no questions, we will see you next week for our next webinar. Thank you.